quickly make this video again. I'm getting ready to leave for work, and I was thinking about how I mentioned pop quizzes for Pell, and I've noticed that in the past, especially working at the farmer's place, like I remember one of the first indications that I was starting to get mobbed is when we had a workers' comp audit. Because today we have a workers' comp audit where I am right now, and I had just gotten hired, and they were auditing the previous year's books, and I guess the markings weren't ideal for what the farmer wanted. I wasn't there the previous year, so obviously he was either influenced by my family or Karen Johnson, and he was basically blaming it on me. And then I asked him, I said, well, he had all these farm records like stacked in boxes and stuff, all disorganized, and this is his stupid illogical behavior. I'm like, well, I wasn't here last year. He goes, well, you're the accounting manager, you figure it out. I mean, he was being a complete and utter idiot about this whole thing, right? And I've noticed, like, in other jobs that I've worked after leaving the farmer's place, that I've dealt with people who are more, instead of giving out just regular instructions or being helpful or giving me, just exchanging information, they're more interrogating than anything else. And so this is not something that builds morale. As a matter of fact, it builds resentment, and his behavior was completely inappropriate. This is the sort of behavior that many people are experiencing by management. And unfortunately, most managers don't know how to manage companies. They just don't. They think that they have a position of power, and oftentimes they abuse that power. And it's very difficult for a lot of people to handle that. Like, I think a lot of leaders start off, very humble, And I've mentioned this. I don't know if I mentioned this in my videos, but I've had this in conversation. Like, for example, I personally think Jim Jones. He was a cult leader who originally started off. I believe he started off with a good heart. I really do. But he got a lot of power, a lot of prestige, a lot of money, and he had control over people, and he eventually became corrupt. This is very, very common. Another example is like, I've used this one before as an example for, if you watch the Brady Bunch, how one time Bobby got elected as the hall monitor, right? He got elected as a hall monitor, right? And and I think they also did something similar on SpongeBob. Now, mind you, these are just television shows, okay? But still, it gives somebody a sense of authority, and oftentimes people don't know what to do with that sort of authority, that sort of control, and what they do is they end up abusing it, okay? And it can slip up on people because maybe their intention isn't to be that way, but it just turns that way. So it's really difficult for a lot of people to be able to not be that way. And so I am one of those people who I'm really good at monitoring behavior. I don't let myself get like that because my communication is instructional. I understand what creates friction and what doesn't create friction. So I fully believe that I'm ideal for that position because for those positions because I understand human nature and I understand what the business platform should be. So most managers are tyrannical. They are, and this is what a lot of people are complaining about. This is why you get a lot of people out on disability. This is why you have many people who commit suicides, going postal because managers get involved with the workplace mobbing, and they participate in stalking and those sort of things that are unethical, and they abuse their power. So, this is one of the things that I think is important, and I believe that I have a lot to offer. And like I said, I don't think that what I'm asking for is unrealistic or wrong or anything inappropriate, especially since I've held those titles before. I believe that I'm ideal for the workplace because I don't cause the friction. I'm not the one who's, creating and stirring up the trouble. I've been gang stalked for years, okay? And considering the very fact that I'm able to explain it, break it down in steps, why and how it relates to the workplace, if that doesn't prove that I'm qualified, hey, I don't know what does, okay? And the religious belief, isn't it funny how so many people participated in this, and that this information is smack dab on their walls, in their place of employment. These people claim to be qualified, and yet all these people didn't notice it. So that tells you that I am a step above the rest when it comes to management and being in that position. So I don't think my aspirations are unrealistic. They are actually very realistic and extremely humble. They are very humble. And it makes for example, if Karen Johnson doesn't like that, well, that's too bad, because I have every right to pursue a job that's going to be comfortable for me and the kind of cost of living that's in the Los Angeles area. Like I said, I'm asking a lot less than what I'm actually deserving of, okay? Because really, I should be asking for $40 or more, okay? By asking 25 to 30, I'm actually taking a big pay cut, okay? That's really less than what I'm worth, okay? So nobody has any right to complain. They just don't have any right to complain, because really I should be the head of an organization. So yeah, and if I was the head of an organization, I tell you what, there wouldn't be any of this sort of people going out on disability and that sort of thing, because I would take certain complaints seriously and I would know exactly how to handle them, okay? But you know what, I'm trying to take it easy. I'm not trying to ask for more than, what I believe that they're willing to give me. I believe like I said, being a department manager, an office manager of a small company, it's more than realistic, and it's extremely humble, because like I said, I should be the head of a huge company. I should be making about 6 figures. That is exactly what I'm worth. So by asking for what I'm asking for is modest, okay? Now, as everyone knows, I am going to be getting my marriage, will be eliminating my marriage, or be getting divorced. I am going to be seeking a divorce very quickly as soon as I secure employment, probably right after I do. But for now, that I can't really do anything like that right now, because I have to save up all my money and my resources at the moment. So this puts me in a very tight budget spot. But right now I consider myself single. I consider myself single because there's too much mystery shrouding my my marriage. There's just too much. So and regardless whether I was or not, because of all of this, I don't want any part of it. I just don't. So I'm going to take it easy today. I'm going to go ahead and deal with the auditor and whatever I have to deal with, and just take it easy for the rest of the day. I'm exhausted, extremely tired, and then when I get home, I'm just going to rest. So I wanted to go ahead and make this video because there's too much tyranny going on in these companies. There's too much of this people being intimidated in their work. There's too many people going out on disability. There's too many people on depressants when they really shouldn't be. And the solution is because you have somebody who doesn't know how to manage their power or their authority. Okay, it's an abuse of authority, abuse of control. People who initiate gang stalking, people who initiate workplace mobbing. This is obviously a form of corruption. Okay, and people need to be aware of it. And like I said, it can slip up on people. Like they might even it's a behavior that it's mysterious. It's one of the reasons why they call it a psychological phenomenon. But still, once a person points it out, like, hey, you're mistreating me, there should be an open dialogue between that person and management. And oftentimes management, instead of really listening to the employee, which the employee has a right to express themselves, they get, extremely autocratic, and they get argumentative, and they just say, I'm going to fire you. They develop what I call a God complex, okay, which is really dangerous. And this is the sort of stuff that is causing people, to become disillusioned and depressed and just want to give up on working and enjoying their work life. And this is the root of the problem, and I believe that it is. So I'm going to wrap up this video, and I will be back with another one when I get back home. Have a great day. Bye-bye.